I been getting to the money. Everybody mad.
YouTube, what's going on, man? Welcome back to my channel. On this channel, we specifically talk about credit, finances, and anything entrepreneurship. So if that's something that you like, consider subscribing to the page. If not, and you just get value out this video, please drop a comment or like the video for me. It helps with the algorithms and get more exposure to other people's. So with that being said, YouTube, we talking about how to go get $50,000 from the bank, right? $50,000 worth of credit cards. This funding could be for anything that you want it to be. If you just want high limit credit cards, so you could just start traveling for free and using more money from the banks instead of using your debit card, we're going to teach you how to do that. This could be for your business, which $50,000 on the business profile is really, really light. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. So we talking about how we want to structure our credit profile, right? So anytime we're going to the banks and we're asking for money, we need to have a few things tied up on our side to make sure we're able to get this money, right? So with that being said, the first thing that we want on-time payments. You truly want to be 100% on time on everything that you've had in the past, right? If you're not at 100%, you say, Josh, well, I can't get this money because I'm not at 100%. If you're not in 100%, you want to at least be 2 years old from your last late payment. 2 years old from your last late payment, right? And I'm not saying that you can't get credit. You can't get the $50,000 if you aren't 2 years old, but that's pretty much where you want to be. So you want on-time payments. Also, you want low utilization, right? You want low utilization. Now, I say your low utilization, but I have gotten people approved for $50,000 on 2 cards with actually high utilization. So that's still important, though. You still want to have low utilization. The reason being is because the banks, if you're solid with your credit cards already that you have on your profile, then it's easier to get other credit cards, right? Just because the banks look at you as less risk. Now, whenever you hold a high utilization on 2 or 3 cards, you look more riskier to the banks. So the banks do not like this. Number 3, and this is probably your biggest one, your credit age, right? Your credit age. So forewarning, anytime you add more credit cards to your profile that's not on the business side, but it's on the personal side, then you will get your credit score will go down. So if we was to go fund right now, when we was to get 3 new credit cards or 4 new credit cards, which typically that's kind of like somewhere we tap out around 5 or 6 new credit cards, right? Whenever we're going through funding. Whenever we get these 5 or 6 new credit cards, let's say if you had 3 years worth of credit history, that might drop down to like a year and like 6 months, a year and a half, something like that, because you added so many new accounts to your credit. So just understand, whenever you're talking about the business or whenever you're talking about funding, period, it's always great to have an average age of credit be somewhere 2 years or plus. So with that being said, the next one, as far as inquiries, we don't want too many inquiries on our credit report. We don't want too many inquiries on our credit report, right? So the example I like to give with inquiries are kind of like a nice looking girl, right? Your credit score is the nice looking girl, right? Let's say if we seen this girl and we thought about we could go the distance with this girl, right? And we seen her go to another guy's house the night before we thought about getting serious with her, right? The night before, after she comes out that guy's house and it's the day after, we're going to look at her like, I'm not sure what just happened, right? She's not so much attractive to us anymore. We got to kind of let some time go by to kind of figure out, is she really the one that I thought she was, or is she something different, right? It's the same with the banks. If they see you at Wells Fargo and now you at Chase a day later and you at Navy Federal a day later, they're going to have some problems with you, right? They're going to not be so willing to give you money. And the biggest thing on it, that's the example, but the biggest thing on it is whenever you're applying for a lot of credit, the banks look at you as if you're broke, right? So it looks like you're grabbing a lot of credit to pay for the bills or anything that you got right now. So the banks look at that like, all right, that's a warning, that's a red flag. We don't want to extend credit out to this person. So whenever we're thinking about the data points, and our data points for our inquiries, we need to be somewhere below 4 to 5 inquiries, somewhere around there. If you got 2, that's even better. That means you can make it look a lot better whenever we're going through funding. If you get to about 6, 7, you're probably going to get denied just on the strength of your inquiries, right? So before we actually go get the money, we need to make sure we hitting these data points as far as these inquiries. Reach out to me if you got too many inquiries. We can definitely get them off. It takes about 3 to 4 weeks to get inquiries off, but that's actually attainable. It's real easy. The next one we want to make sure we don't want to have any derogatory remarks, right? Any collections, any medical bills, any kind of phone bills, utility bills, anything like that that's actually reporting on your credit. If you do have those, especially more than one, you do need to get that addressed, right? Now, don't get me wrong, we can still fund with one derogatory, but we want to make sure that's the only one if that's the one. Now, typically, whenever you have one, you're not going to get it approved as the same limits as someone who would have the exact same profile but have one less derogatory. So, for example, I got one credit card for $25,000, and the client who had the one derogatory, he got $16,000. So you got to think about it as two different things, right? Just understand that we got to build it up and we got to make sure it's right. With that being said, the next thing we want whenever we go into these banks, we want to have multiple accounts open. You want to be making payments to multiple accounts. So you don't want to go in there with just making your card note in one credit card. Typically, whenever we going through funding, I like for my clients to have a portfolio of things that they're making payments on and have at least 6 or 7 things, right? So if you're juggling 3 or 4 credit cards, that's good. A mortgage is always good. A car note is always good. So just think about that. A line of credit is even better. So just think about that whenever we're going and getting funding, right? What is all on my credit? If you need to add some things to your credit, I recommend trade lines. Trade lines is good for personal credit. It's not good for business credit. Just got to understand what thing are you trying to accomplish. If you got late payments, I do not recommend business credit. I recommend personal credit cards until those late payments are at least 2 years old. They will deny you on the business side just for having late payments. That's not aged up a little bit. So always make your payments on time. Reach out to me if you need any credit repair. But that's another thing. I always have a portfolio of things that you're making payments on. So once you get this funding, right? Once you get this funding, understand that this can be a liability or it can be an asset, depending on what type of person you are. So if you watch this video to the end, hear me and hear me clear. You need to be responsible with the money that you're getting. If you get the money from the banks and you burn the banks, you will not be able to bank at those banks anymore, right? So some of the top banks that's out there, right? Chase is a great bank, especially when it comes to getting credit cards and getting access to their capital, right? U.S. Bank is a great bank. Bank of America is a great bank. Wells Fargo, Navy Federal, First Tech. These are all great banks. Capital One, they're pretty solid. I don't recommend them for funding, but they're pretty solid. Alliant is a great bank as well. So think about this whenever we're going through funding. I cannot burn these banks. I cannot burn these banks. If I burn these banks, it's a greater chance I won't be able to do business with them, and it limits myself to being able to access more funding in the future. So with that being said, let's put together the plan, right? Navy, Fed, and Barclays, they both pull from TransUnion, right? So those are two of the banks that I like to go through whenever I'm doing some funding. Also, I love Chase. I love Chase. Chase has a Freedom card, which is, I think it's about 15 months interest free on this card, right? That's one of the reasons I love Chase, because of the interest-free card. And then Chase got a ton of bonus points. Now with Chase, typically whenever you're filling out the application, you need to put at least 5 years or longer that you've been staying at the property that you've been at. It don't matter. Just put 5 years or longer. Chase loves to see stability. Pretty much every bank that you go to loves to see stability. Also, Navy Federal is a great bank. Also the same thing, put stability that you've been there for a while. But Navy Federal will literally give you any amount that you pretty much ask for. I've seen credit cards up to 80,000 with Navy Federal. I've seen some 40, I've seen some 30, I've seen some 25, some 20s, and anything in between, right? I've seen some thousands, right? So anything in between. Now, the great thing about Navy Federal, they actually give to beginner credit, right? So if you don't have that many profiles, or you don't have that many accounts on your credit, or you don't make that much money, or your credit profile isn't that strong, so your score is somewhere around the 670s and above, Navy Federal is a great bank to get started with. Also, another one is Alliant Credit Union. Now, the way to get into Navy Federal, before I go to Alliant, the way to get into Navy Federal is actually be active in the military or any kind of the armed forces or anything with the U.S., or have a family member that was a veteran, right? So those are the two ways to get into Navy Federal. So go ahead and get in there as soon as you can. Find a family member, a friend, and you can go ahead and get in with the access code. Other than that, Alliant, the way you get in with Alliant Federal Credit Union or Alliant Credit Union, you actually need to donate to their charity of choice, right? So they got a few different charities. I want to say you need to donate $5 to get in there. But it's real easy and it's very, very simple. So go ahead and join and then go ahead and start building with Alliant. Now, Alliant is a great credit union. They give out great limits. Make sure that you don't falsify how much you making on these documents. Alliant will check, but Alliant is a great bank. So now we got two banks that's going to give out a lot of money right off the bat. Besides them, I love Chase, right? Chase is pretty much guaranteed 5,000 if you got great credit. So if you meet these data points, Chase will guarantee you at least 5,000. Now, Alliant and Navy Federal, they both pull from TransUnion. I'm here in Texas. Also, Chase, they're going to pull from Experian. So I like Chase. Also, I like Discover on that side too. So think about those 4 cards whenever you're going and applying for funding. The 2 cards that I recommend if you got beginner's credit, Navy Federal and Alliant. Chase Freedom Card is a good one too. And then Discover It is a pretty good card. And they got a pre-approval too. So before you even go through there, if you want to, just check your pre-approval on Discover and see how much they allow you to have based on the numbers that you give them, right? And then it's pretty easy. You already know if you already got a clear cut for one card or if you don't. But as far as Navy Federal, they're pretty good. I've never seen them deny anybody. Alliant, they're pretty good. Just donate to the charity of choice, and Navy Federal, just be a part of the, just be a veteran and you're fine, or be a part of the veteran family members, anything like that. Chase, get the Freedom Card. The Freedom Card is the easiest card to get, so don't go get the Chase Sapphire. Whenever you start going to get certain cards, just understand you need to reach, the data points need to be even greater on certain cards. So anything, let's say on Amex is a really good bank as well. Anything on the Amex side, you need to understand that if we're going for the platinum, we need to have all of these data points pretty much touched, right? If we're going for the gold, we need to have all of these touched. But on the everyday cards and the cards without annual fees, those are the easy starter cards to get. So understand that. Hey, look, I hope this video was helpful to anybody watching. Thank you guys for clicking on it. I hope we're able to do some business. If you need your credit fixed, please reach out to me. I'm actually fixing credit. So reach out to me and I can definitely help you out with that. All right, you too. Take it easy.